Thank you for taking the time to get to know the Wyoming Program Quality Practices, a foundational piece of our state's quality after-school programs. Whether you are an after-school professional, a parent, or a youth development supporter, this webinar will help familiarize you with the PQPs and learn how they can be used as a tool to strengthen and support our after-school programs. This webinar aims to not only describe what the PQPs are, but how you can put them into practice. The webinar is divided into 3 sections. The first, Introduction to the Wyoming Program Quality Practices, aims to familiarize the Wyoming after-school and youth development community with the PQPs. You will hear about how and why they were developed, what they are, and how they are organized. You will also hear a little bit about how you can use them in your work. This section will introduce the user guide and the self-assessment, 2 companion documents. Section 2, Putting the PQPs into Practice, explores ways you can use the PQPs as part of a continuous quality improvement process to define, assess, and support quality. Section 3, Connecting Quality, goes into more depth about how the PQPs relate to other elements of quality and quality initiatives in Wyoming. No one wants yet another framework or assessment tool. Rest assured that the PQPs purposely align with other quality work you may already be doing. Feel free to listen to the webinar in one sitting or listen to just one section at a time. You can return to it whenever you want, and please feel free to share it widely with colleagues, parents, and others who might be interested. Section 1, Introduction to the Wyoming Program Quality Practices. Before we get started, take a minute to think about quality in after school. What is quality in an after-school program? What does it look like, sound like, feel like? If you were a parent, what would you expect from a high-quality program? Leaders in your state have been thinking about quality in after school for a long time. In the fall of 2014, the Wyoming After-School Alliance began discussions with key members of the Governor's Advisory Council on Early Childhood and the Department of Family Services to initiate a joint partnership for Phase 1 to create a continuum of program quality practices from birth to age 13. Facilitated by the National Institute on Out-of-School Time, or NIAST, work began with the Joint PQP Committee in early 2015 for development of Phase 1. The 8 quality domains were established, and the practice statements under each domain were created. In 2016, Phase 2 work began by the Wyoming After-School Alliance to develop quality indicators for after-school and youth development professionals. Again facilitated by NIAST, a committee of after-school providers and leaders was formed to complete this work. One provider who was a member of the team noted, "The development process was very thorough and concise. The team made extra efforts to create a document that could be used universally and seamlessly by anyone. The collaborative team worked well together and respected all points of view, most often taking bits and pieces from all those with input to form one concise practice." The third phase, implementation, is ongoing. The goal is to inform the after-school and youth development community about the PQPs and offer information and resources, such as the user guide and self-assessment, to ensure the PQPs are put into practice. The PQPs are very much intended to be a living document. What are program quality practices? The program quality practices provide the foundation of quality programs in Wyoming. As the PQP document states, they provide a common understanding of the essential components of quality practice in after-school and youth development programs. They are not requirements nor intended to be a regulatory checklist. Rather, they provide a definition of quality for which programs can strive as they pursue continuous quality improvement. These guidelines capture the practices that have been demonstrated through research to lead to quality programs and incorporate the priorities and values unique to Wyoming. The PQPs work hand in hand with other elements of quality, such as the National After-School Association Core Knowledge and Competencies for After-School and Youth Development Professionals, the APAS Quality Assessment Tools, and the After-School and Youth Development Credential. You'll hear more about these other quality initiatives in Section 2. These quality practices are useful at many levels. For example, they provide a common definition of quality that is based in research and serves as a foundation for decisions and practices in all settings and programs. They provide a framework that connects system-building elements and allows for the advancement and professionalization of our connected fields of early childhood, after-school and youth development, and summer learning. They provide a benchmark for programs to hold themselves accountable through continuous quality improvement. They provide a guide for families and youth when looking for a quality program. And last but certainly not least, they provide a message to potential investors and policymakers that we believe quality is important and we hold ourselves accountable for improving quality. More specifically, the PQPs can be used by programs to examine the quality of the program through self-assessment and determine areas to work on for quality improvement, and to identify specific areas of need for future professional development training and education. They can be used by families and communities to help understand the expectations of after-school professionals and programs, and to select high-quality programs for their children. And they can be used by system leaders and advocates to create a framework for schools, communities, and programs to determine what quality programs look like and how they can have positive results for children and youth, and to develop and implement state and local policies that will enhance the professionalism of the field. The PQPs are grouped according to 8 quality domains or categories: physical environment, curriculum and program activities, assessment, planning and improvement, relationships, child and youth engagement, families and communities, safety, health and wellness, leadership and administration, and professional development. The domains represent key areas of quality for after-school and youth development programs. Each domain is followed by practice statements, which describe best practice for that domain. Finally, each practice statement includes several indicators, which are observable examples of that best practice. Please note that the indicators are not intended to be an exhaustive list, but to give a picture of what quality practice looks like in action. In this example, we see that the domain is physical environment, curriculum, and program activities. The practice statement is the program ensures a safe and developmentally appropriate physical indoor and outdoor environment for all activities. The indicators follow. Here, indoor and outdoor facilities are clean and there are no observable safety or health hazards, etc. The Wyoming After School Alliance developed the PQP User Guide, a companion document, to help bring the PQPs to life. It places the PQPs in the context of quality in Wyoming and offers concrete ways to use the PQPs. It walks through how they can be used as part of a continuous improvement process to define, assess, and support quality. This webinar will introduce these concepts in the following sections. Please use the link here to see the user guide for more information. The self-assessment tool is another companion document. This resource provides a useful checklist to assess your program's strengths and identify opportunities for improvement. It may also serve as a useful checklist for families or other interested community members. The tool assumes that continuous improvement relies on self-reflection. The user guide includes a reflection form to help organize your thoughts about how this and other quality assessments you might use align to identify strengths and opportunities for growth. Again, use the link here to see the self-assessment tool. Section 2, putting the PQPs into practice. The PQPs are part of a continuous improvement process. Efforts to improve quality fall into these 3 buckets: defining quality, what is it? Assessing quality, are we achieving high quality programming, and in what areas? And supporting quality, what can we do to continue improving? Common definitions drive quality. the Program Quality Practices, or PQPs, at the program level, as well as the NAA Core Knowledge and Competencies, or CKCs, at the individual staff level, give us a common definition of quality. Everyone, including program professionals, directors, families, communities, and system advocates, can become familiar with the PQPs and core competencies, so we have this common language and definition of quality. These two frameworks are aligned. The quality domains of the PQPs were designed to correspond to the categories of the NAA core competencies. The two frameworks speak to the same elements of quality, just at different levels, the program level versus the individual staff level. Once we know what quality looks like, we need to assess the current quality of our programs. Others, such as families and advocates, can use the assessment to identify markers of quality, but really programs and professionals will be mainly using the PQPs at this stage to assess the quality of your programs. The first step is to collect data. The PQP self-assessment is an intellectual team exercise in which you reflect on the quality of your program in each domain. In addition to PQP data, you can conduct surveys and do observations or interviews. The APAS tools, which some programs use, contribute this type of data. These types of quality observational assessment tools may confirm the results of your PQP self-assessment or may highlight additional areas for improvement. The NAA Core Knowledge and Competencies self-assessment, available from the National After-School Association, offers an assessment of individual skills, which can be mapped onto the PQP quality domains to see overlap or connections. After you collect data, the second step is to reflect on the connections. The PQP self-assessment combined with other sources will give you a broader picture of your program quality. Consider what strengths your program already has and what are the biggest opportunities for growth. Note that the PQP user guide includes a chart that can help guide your reflection. The third step is to make an improvement plan. Your action planning may be part of your quality improvement process already in place. If so, great. Just make sure to consider any helpful information uncovered by the PQP self-assessment as you build your action plan. If you don't already have a quality improvement process in place, the user guide includes a basic template that you can use to guide your next steps. The user guide also addresses important elements of action planning in more depth, such as working with your team. After identifying areas for improvement, the next step is to find ways to support quality in these areas. Most often, this support comes in the form of professional development opportunities. This may be trainings, coaching, peer learning groups, or communities of practice, as well as credentials or higher education for individual staff. For example, the Wyoming After-School Alliance offers an annual conference, as well as in-person and online training and webinars. The After-School and Youth Development Credential, created by the Wyoming After-School Alliance in partnership with Central Wyoming College and based on the NAA Core Knowledge and Competencies, is an online 3-semester course series. Credits earned are transferable within the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education and the University of Wyoming Department of Family and Consumer Sciences. Training opportunities are also offered by Wyoming's 21st Century Community Learning Centers program. U for Youth, or Y for Y, is an online technical assistance and learning center. The site was developed by the U.S. Department of Education for 21st Century Community Learning Centers, but many resources are free to all. There may be other local opportunities, as well as national conferences, that provide professional development opportunities. Again, you can match the PD opportunities with the areas you want to focus on for improvement. It's also important to build a strong system of support for the after-school field in Wyoming. The PQPs can be used to help advocate for such a system. This includes common definitions of quality, professional development opportunities, professional registries, career pathways or steps of advancement that are connected to increased professional development, fair and competitive compensation, as well as workplace supports such as benefits, and of course, sustainable funding needed to support the system. Section 3, Connecting Quality. The PQPs do not create more work for you or your program. Simply, the PQPs define quality and clarify what it looks like so you can strive for it. They connect to and align with other quality improvement efforts already underway in Wyoming. For example, you might already be assessing your program quality using the APAS tools or another quality observation tool. You can supplement your data with the PQP SelfAssessment tool. These tools work in concert. Similarly, the PQPs are aligned with the NAA core knowledge and competencies. You can see if your individual skills are impacting your program's quality. The early childhood community is in the process of developing program standards that will align with the PQPs. Recall that the first phase of the PQP development was done in collaboration with early childhood. The early childhood licensing regulations overlap some with the PQPs, and these can be reflected on together when identifying areas of strength and opportunities for growth. The many professional development opportunities in Wyoming build quality practice in the quality domains. The after-school and youth development credential is based on the NAA core knowledge and competencies, which of course align with the PQPs. So you see, quality is connected. One provider has noted, now that she has had a chance to use the PQPs, how easy it is to maneuver between different resources since the PQPs are aligned with the other quality initiatives. The user guide includes a reflection tool to guide you as you think about your program's quality using the PQPs as an organizing framework. The goal is to see a complete picture of your program. You can think about how the PQP domains connect with your other quality initiatives and other program interests and trends in the field. For example, you can write down the findings from the PQP self-assessment alongside highlights from your quality observation data, for example, your APAS data. Also, consider what the NAA core knowledge and competencies self-assessment might have revealed about individual staff members and what other priorities your program might have. For instance, are there trends in the field, like STEM or SEL, that you're focusing on, or interests that your school may have during the day if you are a school-based program? If you're an early childhood program, are there licensing regulations you need to focus on? Again, the PQP quality domains can be used as a way to organize your thinking about your program's strengths and opportunities for improvement. You can then consider if each area identified as a potential area of improvement is a priority at this time. After-school professionals in Wyoming have begun to use the program quality practices and are seeing the benefits. Already, they are using the PQPs in several ways. First, for staff development. One after-school program director noted, "We use the PQPs as part of our beginning of the year staff development process. We discuss what we currently have in place and what we could add in alignment with the PQPs." Second, the PQPs have already proven to be a strong advocacy tool. One after-school program director shared that she took the PQPs to her school board, discussed the process of creating them, and gave each member a copy. She reported, "One of the board members works at our local children's center, and she asked about using it there. The board members were quite impressed, and they felt it was a wonderful tool for them to see what we do and what quality looks like." Remember, the PQPs are a powerful tool to align your efforts to improve quality. One program director noted that she will continue to use them to align quality practices. Several resources are listed here for your convenience. Some, like the NAA Core Knowledge and Competencies, the NAA Code of Ethics, the HOST HEPA standards, and the ADA standards, are mentioned in the PQPs. The Wyoming Program Quality Practices, along with the user guide and self-assessment, can be accessed from the Wyoming After School Alliance website, along with the original Wyoming Career Development System report and information about the After School and Youth Development credential. Many thanks to the core group of after-school professionals who dedicated their time and expertise to the creation of the program quality practices. Many other people also assisted by reviewing documents and participating in team calls. Together, they worked hard to contribute to a stronger after-school system for Wyoming children, youth, and families. Thank you for taking the time to get to know the Wyoming program quality practices. We hope you will continue to use and share them to promote quality after school. For further information and resources, please reach out to the Wyoming After School Alliance.